Bunny Love again. So part 3 of my freedom, whatever you want to call it. It's a story. It's partially a tutorial and it's a vlog at the same time. So I've had my dinner and that's it. This is probably the last thing I'll do tonight, possibly. I might read a little bit before bed. Sometimes I like to watch movies, even though I have to take movies with a box of salt because there's lots of, programming stuff going on, trying to brainwash you all the time. So you gotta be careful with that stuff. Yeah. I hope you don't think I'm drunk, because I'm not drunk. I just am a little eccentric at times, and I'm sorry about that. So if it's, if you think I'm a little weird, I am weird, and I am a little crazy, but I know that I'm a little crazy, which actually makes me sane. I studied psychology at the university. I have an undergraduate degree. I majored in psychology, and I know that. I know that people who have insight into their condition, they actually have a very positive prognosis. So if I know I'm crazy, that means I'm actually sane. And if you don't think you're crazy, you might actually be crazy. So anyways, we'll leave the crazy stuff for later. Although this is all very crazy. Some of the stuff that I'm going to tell you about, you're going to think is crazy. And I've had this happen, and I wanted to bring this up, is that I even had friends who accused me of being crazy. And even my family accused me of being crazy when I tried to tell them about some of the stuff that I was learning about with the law and why I became freedom. It had to do with this thing that some people call the name game. And essentially you're allowed by law to have infinite aliases. So I am Lori Dawn Sharma, aka Gypsy Noor. I came up with Gypsy Noor when I was doing henna tattooing in 2005. See, I do henna. That's my owl tattoo. You see it? Sorry. So I do that at Mystique India on White Avenue in the summertime and in the spring. I've been doing it lately. It's really been really nice weather. And that's when in about 2005, when I started doing henna tattooing on White Avenue, I came up with the name Gypsy Noor. I had been listening to some Sufi kalams, and I had become completely entranced. It was like true trance music for me, is the Sufi kalams. I felt completely like I was frozen. I was frozen, suspended beyond time and space. It was amazing. And they were chanting these beautiful kalams, and they were so elevating and gorgeous. And they were saying Noor, and Noor was, of course, the light in the heart of a Sufi mystic. It's the divine light. And that's when I decided my name should be Noor, Gypsy Noor, for henna, and that was it. So there's Gypsy Noor, there's Freedom now is my new name, Freedom Noor Bunny Love, True MC for Eternity, and this is a friggin' awesome journey. I'm having a beautiful, amazing, exhilarating, brilliant journey doing this. And I want to tell you how I became freedom because it is uber epic. You need to know about this. But again, people in your life, you might even think I'm totally crazy, whatever I'm going to tell you. You could think, this girl's a nutball. She doesn't know, she's crazy, she's out to lunch. This is what happened with some of my friends, you know, and there's people out there, like I was saying before, who are very knowledgeable. But these people cannot recognize truth when it's being told to them. You know, their friend could be telling them a truth, sharing a truth with them. They won't see it. They will doubt their friend, and they will say, I need to see facts. You need to show me documentation. You need to show me proof that what you're saying is true, because I have too much knowledge in my head and I don't have any room to recognize truth. I have to see the fact. And then even, you know, they can even see the documentation, they're still going to have doubts. They still are not going to get what it is because they're too full of knowledge. They're too full of it. And a lot of these people, I will warn you, they will seem very calm, cool, and collected. They will be very composed. They will be very articulate. Do not be fooled by those who are calm and cool and articulate. The world is full of politicians and diplomats who are very calm and cool and collected and articulate. But they're not telling you the truth. Okay? Please be careful. I've had this experience, and it's part of our life experience. It's part of the human condition, I guess, is to be in this state, to become confused, to have others who are confused around you, who are not sure who they are, and they don't want to believe you. When you know who you are and you're trying to tell them, they're going to say, no, you're not saying who you are because you're using an alias. But you're allowed to use aliases. Okay, you are allowed to use aliases as much as you want, and it's your life. If you want to have greater control over your life, you need to start realizing that you can have greater control. You really need to allow that to be a truth for yourself. And this is against all odds. Like, if everybody else turns against you, you must be willing to stand alone. You must be willing to stand alone. In your sovereignty. So, be wary the false motives of others. Be wary the false motives of others. Beware the false motives of others. Be wary of those who pretend to be brothers. Or is it lovers? It's Lauryn Hill. Men who lack conscience will even lie to themselves. A friend once said, and I found to be true, that everyday people, they lie to God too. So what makes you think that they won't lie to you? My singing voice probably doesn't sound that good tonight. I'm kind of tired. Oh, it's my friend Joel. Hi Joel, I'm doing a vlog. Can I call you back? Okay, bye. So, Joel, oh my gosh, Joel, who just called. Oh, you guys gotta see my little Chase's picture. Oh, you couldn't see it. Joel is a soldier. I told him when I went to court and I was able to declare my sovereignty, he was there as a witness. And he was not one of the friends who, so-called, fair weather friends. Be wary of your fair weather friends. who are just there to party. And you can give these people a place to sleep. You can let them be at home in your home. You can open your home to them, but when you need them, they're gone. They're gone like ghosts in the wind. Joel, however, was there for me, and he came to court, and he was able to witness me as a sovereign, and I told him I would knight you, Joel. My other friend Dennis was there too. Yeah. Dennis and I have more drama, though, than Joel and I. Joel and I don't really have any drama between us. Anyways, there's a lot of interesting stuff you guys are going to hear about this story. First of all, though, again, the alias thing. You got to consider this as not only a fact, but a truth. And if you are going to be attached to facts and, what is considered popular knowledge, then you're going to be denying yourself the truth. Because there is a very particular distinction, I think, between fact and truth. They are distinct. There is a clear distinction in my eyes. There is a clear distinction between truth and fact. You can have something be a fact in that it's agreed upon normally, in the mainstream, or it's part of the zeitgeist. I'm sure you've heard of zeitgeist by now. There was a popular film called Zeitgeist. And a lot of the problem with a lot of people is that they're watching too much zeitgeist. And actually the term zeitgeist means that the way of thinking of a particular time period. So, the zeitgeist of the Victorian era or the Newtonian era of physics, for example. And then, of course, we always have changes in everything occurring. And so facts are not absolute. They change all the time. Whereas truth is absolute. And truth does not change. It is constant. So that is a huge distinction that you need to make first off, and keep that at the forefront of your consciousness, that there is a distinction and that you shouldn't sacrifice truth for fact, ever. So, if you sense truth, that what is the truth happening, trust yourself, trust your heart. That's what I did, and I was victorious, and I'm going to tell you how this happened to me, or how I participated in my victory, in creating a victory for myself. And it was against many odds. There were many people that were not there for me. Like I said, friends who would even, sleep at my house all the time. And use my facilities, eat my food, waste my time, waste my energy. And when it came to supporting me, they doubted me and said, we don't believe you. You're not being truthful. You're not being who you are, because I chose an alias. And because I was aware that I was not a name. And they could not comprehend what was happening. They, with their big heads and their, big knowledgeable brains full of knowledge, they rejected it. They rejected my truth, and the ultimate truth, essentially, was being rejected, in that Lori, who you know as Lori, is not just a name and just what you perceive her to be. And if she says that she is freedom, Only she can know that. You don't have jurisdiction over that. It's not for you to judge. It's not for you to say yay or nay to Lori and whether she's freedom or not freedom. She knows she is freedom. That's enough. You know who you are. You can say you're just a name, you know, and that's your reality.